when I first talked to you, I was thinking that you would be, I don't know, more like other Korean guys, more like, again, shy. That when I started a conversation, you would be like, oh yes, that's so nice. Yeah, I will definitely like text you. We should see each other sometime again. Which translates to, I don't want to see you never, ever.
Did I do that?
No, you didn't. That's why I was kind of like, oh, okay, he's really like a nice person.
Okay.
When I just started learning Korean at my, like, I was learning it at school, Korean language school, and I've met some Koreans there, and when we tried to be like friends, or when I met with them like outside school, they would be like, oh yes, sure, we should meet sometime, and they would never like text me or contact me or other like group mates or whatever. So you were really nice, and I was surprised that we had like a dialogue going. We had some things to discuss. We talked, and then when I texted you like we should study sometime, you answered me, and we actually we met. We spent some time together, and really like again had a conversation, things to talk about. I was really surprised because in my head like Korean, they usually like keep to themselves, and I think at our university, well, it's more true to Chinese, because Chinese
in MGU, right?
In MGU, yes, Chinese people, they keep together. They like to be in Chinese groups, and they don't really go outside these groups.
Yeah.
They don't communicate with Russians. So I thought that, well, maybe it will be the same. I had this prejudice, but no, it turned out great.
Okay.
And then when we started to like communicate more, I just realized that you're less typical, more like closer to our mentality, European. So yeah, that was really nice. That was like one of the reasons why I agreed to go to this like trip.
Sure, okay.
Because you were really passionate. You were like, let's go. I was hesitant because I like didn't know you that well.
Yeah.
But like your passion inspired Artyom as well. So
everything was nice until.
Also, I think I like that you were really thorough with your studies.
Thorough.
Yeah, because I remember like when we had this like study session together, you were doing some exercises, and you would ask particular questions about how to use a certain word, and you would ask questions like, can I use it in this context and in this and this word? And I'm like, yeah, this is all like valid questions, but you asked so many. It's not like this. It was annoying. It was more like surprising again that you were so thorough. Like you wanted to know.
I asked you a lot of specific questions.
Yeah, specific questions.
Especially about Russian grammar.
Yeah. Well, after that in Surf Coffee, and I think we met in Surf Coffee like several times.
I asked you a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And whenever you had hard time explaining to me, you said you can come to Surf Coffee at this time, and I will explain to you.
Yeah.
There were several situations like that. Yeah. And can you explain what kind of student I was in Russia? Honestly.
I mean, I think you were really passionate. And that you were really motivated to see as much as you can see. Well, you said that yourself. You're while I'm in Russia, I want to experience as much as I can. And you like didn't only say that, you really acted in that manner, because, well, again, the trip, and you had a lot of Russian friends, not only like from Moscow, but also from different regions. I think you had a lot of friends from Kafkaz.
Armenians.
Yeah, Armenian friends. The fact that like you went to St. Petersburg with me, like you went to all the museums, that you really wanted to meet my sister, really bonded with her, with Masha. So really, I only can describe it as like eager, willing, passionate, energetic. Yeah. Also, it's my like when someone asks me about you, usually like tell this story when it was like our second meeting, I think, at Surf Coffee, when you came with a bottle of eggs, and you were like, I'm trying to be pumped. I'm trying to pump up, so I'm drinking eggs. I
always brought egg whites.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Why? But it was really. It was really characteristic. It was like so genuine.
Characteristic. Yeah.
Because you were the only person who ever did that. It's like I've heard that people like drink egg whites, but you were just carrying it around like a water bottle.
I was so busy. I didn't have time to eat a lot. But I taught Korean kids English, right?
Yes.
And usually if I went to teach them, the parents gave me food, but most of the food were carbohydrate. So I needed protein. I always ate the egg white with the food that I was provided with. What situation do you remember the most about me or with me when we were in Russia?
It has to be egg whites or it has to be hachi situation. When you screamed.
Hachi situation.
Yeah, when you
in
screamed.
The hotel.
Yeah, well, it was an apartment.
Yes,
An apartment. When you screamed Korean curse words through the door.
I did?
Yeah, I remember like they are in front of our door. They're knocking so hard. There are like several bearded men. And I'm trying I'm trying to communicate with them, and you're like, shh. And you were like, yeah, shh.
I thought you were gonna say the situation about airplane.
These two NKU students don't know how to get to the gate at the proper time. What the fuck? Something was wrong when Tanya said Tashkent is another country.
But that's not specifically about me.
It's more like about us. Yeah, incident like about you. I can say that you're really like collected, and I was really like surprised that you said like I have to go to the gym to process stress and emotions. And I always thought like about you that you are a person who like knows himself, not like maybe is with 100% certain what he wants to do with all his life, but like knows himself, his strength, like maybe weaknesses, maybe where to work better, where to like you can be like sure in yourself. I had always this feeling like comfortable in your skin, if we can say that. You really have values, true to your values, and this is really I think why I liked you as a friend, because, well, this is, I think, a sign of a strong person who knows their values. Korean power.
Bye! Yeah, let's go!
Which city that you have traveled with me, which one do you like the most?
I think I want to say like Irkutsk and Baikal.
Irkutsk and Baikal.
Yes, because the nature was wonderful and it was really something unusual. And the village, like old Russian village that we visited together, it was new experience for me, and also I got to experience it with you as my new friend. So I think it was really that like bonded, like helped to develop the friendship. Also,
especially with art.
Yes, and it also was like a good memory overall.
Yeah. What about St. Petersburg?
Yeah, St. Petersburg, so personally for me it was not as memorable just because I visit a lot. It was not like first time for me visiting it. It was really like good experience again, and I enjoyed it. And it's more like with Irkutsk and Baikal, I enjoyed like sharing new experience together, while in St. Petersburg I enjoyed like showing the city that I already liked. Also like you met my family, so it was also like a separate thing. Like going back to your like passion to visit all the cities.
Yes.
Why did you like want to see all of the Russia again? What was the motivation to go that far? Because I imagine that it was kind of uncomfortable for you to go this far in an unknown, like even climate. When you like encountered new things, like how did you like process them?
This is a good question. I decided to go to far cities that are located in Siberia and different cities in Russia is because I have known the importance of experience since when I was a little. So I knew the importance of experience and the motivation that experience can give to a person. I already had this value and this mindset. So when I was in Russia, when I had the chance, I decided to go to new places that I have never been to. And thinking about the fact that most of the people in the world will not be able to see the specific cities that I have been to. Maybe most of the people, until they pass away, they won't probably be able to see what I have seen. And Russia is not a country that you can oftentimes visit easily. Especially considering the situation that started from 2020.
Yeah, but also political situation is also important. However, like you picked cities really far that are not really popular among tourists. not known. They don't have a lot of like tourist infrastructure. And when we traveled in like Siberia, even flights sometimes were hard because there are not so many flights there. So I was like surprised that you wanted to go to these specific places.
I believe that those experiences are the genuine experiences that you can have in Russia. I mean, in Moscow there are a lot of foreigners, and there is a saying that Moscow is another country in Russia.
I just wanted to say that we Russians usually say Moscow is not Russia.
Yes, and also I knew that I cannot go to Russia every time I want. I thought of my life in Russia is the last time that I will be in Russia. So I just didn't want to waste any time. Decided to give it a go. It was really worth it, and I wanted to meet the locals that live in rare cities. The experience was totally worth it.
I agree.
Also, if you are a person who really studies Russian region, you should not only see Moscow but also focus and have interest, have eager to see many other different cities except Moscow and St. Petersburg.
Yeah, I agree. I also think that the main like thing about Russia, the gist of our country, is that it's so diverse.
Yeah.
Because Moscow is one thing, St. Petersburg is another. People who live on the north are drastically different from people who live in the south. Like, I'm not talking about like Caucasus, Kafkas. People who live in Krasnodar, which is like Russia.
On the west side. Yes.
Yeah, they are really different from people who live in my hometown, which is Ural, like central Russia.
Yes.
And those who live in closer to Korea, they are also like different. And it's really important to understand how different.
Exactly. At first, I was also scared to travel Russian cities, but everything changed after my trip to Murmansk.
За деньги, любовь и здоровье никогда не купишь.
You know, I traveled to Murmansk and realized it's not something that hard, it's not something that's scary.
Yes.
Also, it's really expensive to travel to different cities from Korea to Russia.
Yes.
But when I'm in Russia, it's relatively a lot cheaper to go to other cities by plane.
Of course.
So I could have missed this chance. And you know, one thing I regret is that I didn't have a camera at that time to film everything. I didn't have the video editing skills at that time. But still, those experiences made me regret, and here now I am doing this content.
Learned from your...
Yes, exactly. We have our creed. It's never give up, never surrender.
Yeah.
And also, I think this is just life. You learn, experience, and you grow.
Yes, yes.
And I think my experiences in Russia and my travel experiences in not only in Russia but in Europe and other different kind of countries in Central Asia and all those countries taught me that life lesson.
I think it also like widens your horizons and brings perspective on other people's lives. Like you see what they see every day, you can better comprehend how their lives are. And since you plan to work in this field in Russian studies, you can like better maybe understand why certain like rules or politics are like this.
You know, one thing that is really beneficial if you travel is I realized that if you don't have experience, if you don't know the culture of a certain country, let's say that country is Russia, you will have a hard time, and I believe that it's possible to say that you won't be able to learn the language.
Yes,
because
exactly, absolutely.
If you don't know the culture, if you don't have experience in the country, if you haven't seen, let's say, Russia, how can you learn every specifics of language? For example, I have never known the word perkut before I traveled to Kazakhstan. It means golden eagle.
Berkut.
Yes, perkut. How will a foreigner or a Korean studying Russian be able to remember that word?
I agree.
Even if he is a genius, like if he doesn't often confront with that word, he won't be able to remember. But since I've been to Kazakhstan, now I just cannot forget the word.
Yes, this
perkut.
word you will. Yeah. It's true also for every language, I think.
Yes,
for Korean, for me, it's also true. I remember before going to Korea, the most vivid example is with food. Like Korean cuisine has a lot of like, I don't know, noodle dishes, soup dishes. I always struggled with the names. And Koreans, they all the time use these names. And you know how you have like specific dishes that you only eat on specific days? Yeah, cook. All the different like, I don't want to say it wrong now. So when I came to Korea, helped me better understand that like naengmyeon is something that you eat when it's hot outside
Yes.
because it's cold,
Yes, yes.
and all of these things. So it's
Exactly.
kind of and now I will never forget
Yes.
this.
If you saw those in textbooks, you won't be able to remember
yeah.
this easily. And what I want to say is that having no regrets in life is very important for a person to have energy and to grow.
Yeah.
And you know, since I have done what I want to do in life, I still have a lot to do, but since I have traveled as much as I want to, I have met different kinds of ethnicities as much as I want to, even though I'm still on the process. I have been to a lot of cities that I want to visit. And all these memories and experiences later in life, later in my early 30s, early 40s, in my late 40s or early 50s, I will have no regret that I spent time in vain when I was young.
Yes,
I will
yes.
have so much pride that I
Yes.
will have energy, and even though in boring times, I will have the energy to keep going. So I think traveling and living in different kinds of countries and having lots of experience, I mean, this experiences like this, talking with a Russian girl, all of these are potentials and gifts,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. So I think we can wrap it up.
Thank you for Samsung.
Subscribe 주세요.